Hello guys, in this video I'm doing something that I wanted to do for a long while. I'm doing a style challenge. Basically I pick a character and then I draw this character in different styles. But since just that would be boring, I'm also talking about the connection between the genre and the drawing style of comics. I'm using comics for this challenge because they're kind of the most versatile tool you can use. Next to digital art, but I'm still pretty slow at digital painting. And the character I'm drawing is Misha, the ranger wannabe bard that I'm playing in D&D. So grab a cup of tea or coffee and let's chat. So if you want to draw, let's say, shonen manga, should you stick to a certain style? And are there styles you should avoid? What is a typical shonen style? Typical shoujo, seinen or josei, so manga for adult men and women? And what about comics? How do they play into this? Let's all be honest, we're all prejudiced towards drawing styles and we all have our preferences. Often enough we choose a story by its cover and the drawings, not by the story written at the back of the book. And I am guilty of that too. Which is a shame really. Maybe I missed out on many great stories and ended up reading some not so good ones because I literally judged the book by its cover. It's easier for the reader to have a direction of what the story might be like depending on the drawing style. So it's not so bad to have a style that fits the genre you want to work with. For example, if you draw a historical comic or manga, having a more realistic drawing style can help you depict the cultural and other aspects of the time. For example, the architecture, the clothing, food, and so on. But drawing a story taking place in medieval times, where your character has spiky hair, well, it might miss the point a bit. At least if you want to be historically accurate. The drawing style also supports the mood of the story. Heavy lines and strong shadows create a heavier mood. Clean and light lines might be better for a light-hearted story. Also, the way you arrange your paneling can affect the pace of your story and what kind of emotions you awake in the reader. So think how you can adjust your style in order to tell your story in the most effective way. So would a shoujo style fit, let's say, a suspenseful story? It wouldn't really, right? The big eyes and cute noses, sparkles and fluffy dresses. There is no way you can depict any dark themes with that. Or can you? Actually, there is an example that disproves that. Madoka Magica. The characters in that anime do have big sparkly eyes and fluffy dresses, but the story is actually pretty dark, and the drawing style doesn't disrupt this in any way. So there are certain expectations attached to a style, and playing with these expectations can be really risky, but also super fun. And if you succeed, then your work will be something really unique. In the end, drawing styles are just different interpretations of reality. As Scott McCloud explains in his book Understanding Comics, which is a great book by the way. If you haven't read it, stop watching this video, read it and come back. Drawings are pictorial icons on the spectrum from very realistic, so photorealism, to very abstract cartoony styles. And we do get involved with the abstract cartoon just as much as the realistic one, sometimes even more. The more abstract an image is, the easier it is for us to see ourselves in it, because the realistic face resembles a certain person, so it is pretty hard to see ourselves in that one character, while the abstract face could be basically anybody. So depending on your topic, it is vital how realistic or cartoony your style is. I think that's why I simply cannot get into some of the super realistically and detailed drawn comics, because the characters seem really distant and unrelatable. A very realistic style can work well in a horror story, because this way the story is more foreign to us. A character drawn very realistic can seem really hard to look through and thus scary. For comedy, on the other hand, a realistic style can be pretty hard to work with. Why is that? Or can it work well with comedy? Somehow just imagining a comedy drawn realistically is giving me the chills. If I drew my short comics like this, wouldn't they just look creepy? There is something unsettling about overly realistic images within more cartoony work, and some artists are making use of this. SpongeBob makes use of this. Sometimes when they just pop in super realistically drawn images in between, and they always made me uncomfortable. Like Scott McCloud says, With a realistic style, sometimes you are far too aware of the messenger to receive the actual message. So sometimes it's better to keep things simple if the message of your work is important to you. So in the end, you have to decide what point do you want to bring across and what style will be the best messenger for that. Picking a style sometimes isn't even a choice because we get influenced by the works we read. My style is more shoujo because that's what I grew up with. Shoujo manga were the ones that I read the most. So it influenced how I draw my characters, but also how I tell my stories. So our preferences in reading leave a bigger impact on us creators than we might realize. By the way, even if your characters are quite cartoony, it's okay to draw your backgrounds quite detailed, because no reader really identifies with a castle or a tree. So those can still be drawn realistically if it is necessary for your story. So what's the point of this whole episode? I guess I just wanted to do a style challenge for a while. But also, I guess we should try to look past the drawing styles, otherwise we may miss some great stories out there. And also tweaking your style a bit might help you bringing your point across better. So tell me about your experience. Have the stories you like to read affected your drawing style? Do you like to break the unwritten rules when you tell your stories? What styles and genre do you prefer? I would really love to hear about it, so leave a comment down below. So that's it on my part. The rest of the video will be the style challenge. I especially enjoyed drawing Misha in the Sailor Moon style. And the most difficult one was definitely Death Note. If you enjoyed this video, then I would be really happy if you pressed the thumbs up button. And also if you subscribe to my channel. I upload a video every 2 weeks. Also you can read my manga Another Me online for free. I will be putting down all the links in the description box. Thank you for watching. See ya, bye!